DaBaby has slowly become the internet's most hated rapper. What did he do to earn this title? Well, his actions range from insulting fans to getting angry at flight attendants. However, the very first thing that began to turn DaBaby's audience against him was the time he'd get into a beef with kids YouTuber JoJo Siwa. The argument began after DaBaby would post a
Alright, I guess we can watch this.
titled Beatbox Freestyle, in which he'd hold up a photo of JoJo Siwa and call her a bunch of nasty names. The snippet was instantly shared to Twitter, where it gained over 1 million views and 42,000 likes on a post reading, "What TF did JoJo Siwa do that made DaBaby mad like that?" While some joked about DaBaby calling her out over a height insecurity, most were simply baffled that DaBaby would target a kid's YouTuber. She's literally a child, kinda out of line to be honest. Yo, that is funny AF, he really came for a whole kid, which accompanied a post by James Charles reading, "Can someone please explain why DaBaby is dissing JoJo Siwa when she's 12 years younger, 10 times richer, and 2 inches taller than him?" Now, DaBaby had absolutely no business in responding to these comments, as they weren't really even criticism. A lot of the responses were supportive, such as, "I don't think he meant nothing of it, probably just needed something to say," and the others were simply surprised that DaBaby went there, which is literally how DaBaby described his own branding.
I'm gonna say, I can't believe he said that.
However, despite also stating that he wasn't the type of guy to respond to things online,
when it's said outside of music and I'm expected to respond and clear it up without using music, that ain't what I do.
He'd still take to Twitter to squash the drama in a post reading, "It's JoJo Siwa. My 3-year-old princess is your #1 fan. I bought her every product you have out, she thinks she you. Don't let him trick you into thinking I'd ever have a problem with you. My wordplay just went over their heads. All love on my end, shorty, keep shining." Now, DaBaby's response was actually pretty decent, but since he never needed to respond in the first place, all it did was show everyone that he was paying attention to the drama and was unable to stay silent if he was criticized too heavily. In the lead up to this tweet, DaBaby had established a reputation as a kind of hardcore gangster rapper, and to be on Twitter justifying why he made a diss on a kid's YouTuber felt kind of inauthentic to his image. DaBaby stated in an interview that he's doing his own thing and is not really caught up in any of the internet drama.
I mean, like, he can say whatever he want to say. It's just that this world just wants to find something small to pick at you, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just doing me, like I'm not even really caught up in what I got going on.
Yet in a different interview, he contradicts this by stating that he's willing to change his opinions if the internet criticism becomes too harsh.
It's about how much you value others' opinions on the internet, or just, you know, people's opinion around you. I don't value it until they get to messing with my money. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. You know, now you probably need to take heed to that, you know, make some adjustments.
While this is certainly a more mature approach, maturity is rarely what people are looking for in music and entertainment. I could be wrong about this, but it often feels as though the personality of the person making the music is just as important as the music itself, and when it comes to hardcore rap, people want to follow the completely unapologetic gangster as opposed to the person who's known for responding to criticism on Twitter. This point feeds perfectly into his response to the Rolling Loud controversy, which happened only 4 months after the incident with JoJo Siwa. Whilst on stage, DaBaby would imply that people with HIV weren't welcome at his shows, and since the event was being streamed online, the internet began to discuss the comments immediately. Now, as mentioned in other videos, if DaBaby had simply stayed silent on the criticism, the problem would have disappeared. However, just like the JoJo Siwa controversy, he felt the need to clarify his position with a public statement.
I'm gonna address this one time and I'm gonna get back to giving my love to my fans. That's what I'm saying, because what me and my fans do at the live show, it don't concern you. It's not y'all business. What I do at a live show is for the audience at the live show. It'll never translate correctly to somebody looking at a little 5-6 second clip on their phone. It just don't work like that.
This Instagram live stream only led to more people discovering what he had said, and shortly thereafter, celebrities such as Elton John, Madonna, and Dua Lipa were stating on Instagram that they were surprised and horrified at DaBaby's comments. DaBaby stated that he wasn't worried at any point during the Rolling Loud controversy.
Were you kind of scared, like how everyone was like trying to cancel you and shit like that?
Nah, I wasn't scared. That was probably my problem.
However, this is a complete contradiction to his actions, because if he wasn't scared, he wouldn't feel the need to take to Twitter and apologize, which is what he would do after the Instagram live stream. "I want to apologize to the LGBTQ+ community for the hurtful and triggering comments I made. Again, I apologize for my misinformed comments about HIV/AIDS, and I know education on this is important." Going back to the problem of authenticity, DaBaby would go on to state that he didn't even agree with his own apology.
Even though, you know, I don't agree with it, you feel me? Like, you know, if this the example that gotta be made, if this what God want me to go through, you feel me, for whatever reason, let's do it, I'm with it.
And that he only put it out because at a certain level, successful, you have to move in a different way.
You get to certain levels in it, you know, you got to make adjustments, you know what I'm saying, and move a certain way. It's simple, you know.
Ironically, he's talking to Charlemagne, who wrote a book on how living an authentic life is the quickest path to success, which is something that DaBaby himself highlighted as the reason behind why he's been so successful.
What makes you different?
Nah, man, I'm
like,
just
why do you
me,
get that drive?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just me.
Yet going back on his own statements and posting insincere apologies was the opposite to being his authentic, brutal rapper image.
As a rapper, somebody who can speak freely, and I'm not one to do all that hard work day in, day out, make all these sacrifices, get there just to be controlled like a puppet, you know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't how I get out.
Now, it didn't seem like DaBaby actually had any problems with the people he called out.
Anybody from the LGBTQ community, any of that, bro, I am not tripping on y'all. I ain't never had an issue with none of y'all. It wasn't directed to no group of people in particular and nothing like that. Like, it really ain't that deep at all to me.
However, because he blew the whole thing up with a bunch of his own social media attention, the brands he was working with began to drop him one by one. Fashion brand Boohoo publicly ended their relationship with him. Lollapalooza dropped him from the lineup on the very last day of the festival, citing their founding values of diversity,
Man, like, God.
inclusivity, respect, and love. The Governor's Ball Music Festival, set to take place in September, announced that DaBaby would not be performing as
Dang.
part of their lineup. UK event Parklife cut him from the roster, though the rapper's team claims that the decision was made months before Rolling Loud. The team behind Day and Night Vegas replaced his setlist with that of Roddy Ricch. Even the Working Families Party quickly removed him from the list of celebrity performers, and on the Full Send podcast, DaBaby explained that he was set to release his own meal at Burger King, which was also cancelled as a result of the controversy.
God. Wow, bro. That is crazy, bro. What the heck?
I had my own meal at Burger King. A lot of people don't know that. It was called the Jonathan Kirk meal. They wanted to use my name. I shot a commercial for it and everything. They had my name on the box, everything.
Did it
like
come
they
out?
had me. No. That's when all the controversy.
In a different interview, DaBaby gave a dollar figure for how much his comments had cost him.
I had $30 million worth of shows on the schedule before December 31st. I was finna buy my private plane, but it is what it is. It go how it go. You know, God ain't want me to have my plane yet. He's like, hold on, man, just chill.
And while DaBaby clearly took the loss in a very respectable manner, this seemingly did little to repair his reputation, as after being invited back to Rolling Loud 6 months later, the crowd threw drinks at him. However, the worst part about the controversy was, from that point onwards, DaBaby was berated on Twitter for almost anything he'd do. For example, people brought up the time where he'd attack a fan at a club for putting a flashlight in his face, resulting in another apology video.
I do sincerely apologize. Keep in mind, I couldn't see you.
Accompanying another bizarre clip of him being rejected whilst trying to kiss a fan, which also warranted some kind of strange Instagram response to the event.
And he just kept making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake.
There was also the time where he'd make what seemed to be a satirical tweet stating that he was voting for Kanye, which warranted responses such as, "Waste, I can't believe you're even promoting this. Baby, you got too big of a platform to be tweeting this nonsense. Bruh, you're not even eligible to vote."
Why do people be on the Twitter, Instagram, anything, they be typing? These Twitter warriors, bro. Twitter is like in the shade room and all the people in the comments just be like trying to control someone, bro. You're behind the screen, bro.
Vote, which accompanied a different, more recent video where he'd get angry at a flight attendant for not combing her hair.
We gonna pay all that for that flight. You gonna comb your head. Straight up, they nah, dog. We gonna pay all that. You go comb your head. The least you could do.
This is probably part of the reason why DaBaby believes that social media can become a negative thing once you reach a certain size.
But at some point, I think like it may be safer for you not to use it as much because you can become overexposed.
But the real question is, how has this affected the performance of his music? Well, his latest album released in September 2022, which was titled Baby on Baby 2, sold only 16,000 units in its first week, which is 87% less than Baby on Baby 1, which sold 124,000 units in its first week. The music video for one of the songs on his new album titled Boogeyman features 5 different people, one of which being an obviously gay person, and throughout the video everyone is killed besides the gay guy, before DaBaby daps him up at the end, says "I ain't got a problem with you," and once again apologizes for the Rolling Loud comments. The whole thing just feels extremely performative and insincere, with this clear attempt at avoiding controversy only resulting in more controversy. Because alongside his new album's poor release, DaBaby announced that he had to cancel one of his shows after selling selling only 500 tickets to a venue which seated 14,000. Going to a DaBaby concert because I need some alone time and I know no one else will be there. If I put all my followers...
Oh my god. Going to a DaBaby concert because I need some alone time. I know no one else will be there. What the...
to a DaBaby concert because I need some alone time and I know no one else will be there. If I put all my followers
38,000 likes, it's crazy.
In a room and sang a little song to them, then I'd have a more successful concert than DaBaby. DaBaby concert was lit, however,
they're going in!
But to DaBaby's credit, he's taken his setbacks quite humbly, having replied to his lower album sales by stating, "Not bad for DaBlackballed baby." There are a lot of people who have covered in the past that are clearly deserving of their poor reputations, but you could argue that DaBaby isn't really one of them. He's a hard worker with a library of incredibly well-made music, yet he's been unable to keep his mouth closed on controversial topics, which only compounds when you compromise your integrity and change your personality to suit whatever the audience wants you to be.
Man, baby, man, hey, bro, don't worry about these people on the internet, these fools on the internet, man. Keep pushing, man, for real. But keep making music, keep going hard in the stew, and yeah, bro, that's really it, bro. Like, I don't know why people be tripping for real.